All right, hey gang, Nate Bear here, lead technical tactician for Monument Traders Alliance and trade of the day. And in this week's update, I want to go over the indexes, show you where we're at, and I've got a fresh trade setup. But before we take a look at that, I want to touch base on last week's setup, talking about this 195-minute chart in CVNA, and we talked about accumulating it down here and letting this 195-minute squeeze slingshot us back up to 90. So this trade setup gets a big check mark. And one of the questions I get all the time is like, okay, so when can I get back in? When can I get back in? When can I get back in? Well, this trade setup is played out. However, if you want to start looking to continue this idea in CVNA, you've got to start dialing down. So instead of looking at like a 195-minute setup or a 195-minute chart, you can just start zooming in and trying to find, a setup on a smaller time frame chart. So here's one, in a 15-minute chart, kind of like this cup and handle sort of a pattern. It's not perfect, but this is just an example of, the trade setup that we talked about worked, and now it's time to go find a new trade setup, not continuing to sort of over egg this omelet, if that makes any sense. Okay. So with the indexes, the one thing I want to point you to is this fresh signal right down here. We have a fresh daily squeeze on the QQQ, and I imagine that is going to take us up into new highs, probably into these extension targets. So we're looking at 453 to potentially 458 plus on the Qs based on this daily squeeze, something like this. And then from there, who knows? Maybe we consolidate for a while, maybe we roll over. We don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But until again, we start closing in a significant, in a meaningful way below this 21 EMA, instead of just coming in and testing it. I'm long and I'm buying the dips, period. So the setup that I want to go over with you today is in ARM, ARM. Now, this is a chart. I'm going to hide the drawings here, where we have a new issue, right? They IPO'd right back over here. There's no previous price action before, what is that, October of last year, maybe September of last year. What is this? Yeah, September 14th. And what we have is just what we talk about every week, right? We've got our trend, we've got our pattern, we've got our squeeze, and as of today, and again, it is, you guys can't see it on my screen, but it is here. Watch this. Watch what I can do here. Let me move myself over, and now you can see that it is 11:30 at night, Monday evening, the 25th. So we have everything we need here. This is what I would consider to be an A plus setup in ARM, because we have a trend, we have a pattern, and we have a squeeze. And now we have a Momo shift, right? Which is right here. This move down and then up in the momentum on the squeeze indicator. So what I'd like to do is basically go over to ARM. And these are going to be expensive, okay? Let's just get that out there right now. But in ARM, their next earnings are on May the 23rd. I don't necessarily think we need to go out quite that far. You could, if you wanted to just play a run into the next earnings, go out to like June. But you can see these calls are pretty darn expensive. So what I'm going to suggest is going out just into April, 24 days away, and just going in. Let me see some more strikes here. Let's do, might as well just look at a bunch of them, right? So if we go out into April, again, this is the April 19th right here, and just do like, the one, I don't call it the 150s. They're $5, right? So it's a little bit out of the money, but I think you could get a really nice pop in ARM based off of this daily squeeze. And if we look at Fibonacci extension targets here, from this high to this low, you can see here that we've got targets up into 190 and 175. So a lot of room, considering it's trading right now 138 and change. All right, so that's the plan. I'll get this marked up, and hope it helps, and I will talk to everybody soon. Have a good one.